Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt that time was being too cruel to you? Deepening wrinkles, skin losing its glow, fatigue etched on your face, and that uncomfortable feeling that even if you take care of yourself, nothing seems to work? Perhaps you've even asked yourself, why do some people reach 50 looking 25, while most struggle to hide the signs of aging? Could there be a hidden secret, a habit no one reveals, or is it just privileged genetics? The truth is, the Japanese carry ancient practices that defy the logic of aging and keep not only the skin but also the body and mind youthful for much longer. And what if I told you that some of these secrets can already be applied by you in your daily life in a simple and practical way? Today you will discover what no one tells you and understand once and for all how it is possible to reach 50 with the face of a 25-year-old by changing small choices within your reach. When observing the routine of an ordinary person, especially from the age of 40 or 50, it is easy to notice how the body begins to show clear signs of wear. Waking up with back pain, feeling the face swollen in the morning, noticing that the skin no longer reacts the same way to a moisturizer, or that makeup doesn't fully cover the marks that insist on appearing. These small alerts, which seem like unimportant details, are actually silent cries for help from the body. However, in the hustle of everyday life, most people simply ignore them. Who hasn't looked in the mirror and thought, it's normal, it's part of aging? But this belief, so deeply rooted in Western culture, ends up becoming an invisible prison. It's as if aging were synonymous with accepting pain, wrinkles, and limitations, when in reality there are different paths, proven by ancient traditions that show it is possible to maintain vitality for much longer. The Japanese are one of the greatest living examples of this. Just observe the face of a 50-year-old Japanese woman and compare it to that of a Western woman of the same age. The difference is not only genetic, but the result of conscious choices repeated throughout life. Small care rituals, intelligent nutrition, engagement with natural practices that strengthen not only the skin, but also the mind and spirit. While the West insists on seeking miracle formulas and expensive creams and invasive procedures, the East relies on something much simpler, yet powerful: consistency and wisdom in every daily habit. Imagine for a moment two very different routines. The first, so common, begins with someone waking up late, rushing through breakfast, often consisting of white bread, butter, and strong coffee, already loaded with sugar. The body gets a shock, glucose levels spike, and this person believes they are gaining energy to face the day. But what actually happens is the opposite. The skin suffers invisible microinflammations, free radicals increase, and cellular aging accelerates without them noticing. On the other side of the world, in a small Japanese village, the scene is completely different. The day begins calmly, with steaming green tea, rich in natural antioxidants, accompanied by light foods like brown rice, fresh fish, or miso. No exaggeration, no rush. Every meal is seen as an act of care, not just a physiological necessity. It is in this contrast that the key lies. While many ignore the signs of fatigue, attributing them to the weight of age, the Japanese transform food into preventive medicine. And it's not about following impossible diets or temporary fads, but about maintaining consistency of choices that, in the long run, preserve youth. Anyone who has spent time with people over 50 knows how some details make a difference. That skin that remains firm, that sparkle in the eyes that conveys energy, that vitality that surprises even the youngest. What seems like luck or privilege is actually the result of a life guided by simple secrets that the West has yet to learn to value. But the impact is not only on the face or aesthetics. Emotional health is also directly influenced. A chaotic routine, full of accumulated stress, sleepless nights, and irregular eating habits leaves visible marks that cannot be hidden. Deep wrinkles, constant dark circles, dull skin, all of this reflects a body overwhelmed by toxins. In Japan, care for balance goes beyond the physical. The silence of pauses throughout the day, moments of contemplation, valuing the collective, and respecting one's own body are part of a longevity ecosystem. It's as if each habit were a piece of a large puzzle that, when assembled patiently, reveals the image of a youthful face even after decades of life. That's why when we talk about reaching 50 looking 25, we're not talking about miracles or quick tricks. We're talking about understanding the logic behind centuries-old practices, which can be incorporated into any routine, including yours. And that is precisely what this video aims to show: how to apply in daily life, in a practical and accessible way, the same secrets that keep the Japanese young for so long. When it comes to aging, the first thing most people think of is the skin. Wrinkles, fine lines, and sagging that settles in silently but suddenly seem to multiply in every photograph. This visual perception weighs not only on the mirror but primarily on self-esteem. It assesses as if each mark were a constant reminder that time is passing and youth will not return. Yet this emotional pain is not just about vanity. It reflects a deep discomfort with the feeling of losing control over one's own body. The good news, revealed through decades of observing Japanese culture, is that youthful skin does not depend solely on genetics or expensive creams, but on everyday choices anyone can learn. One of the most fascinating Japanese secrets is tied to green tea consumption. This habit, which may seem simple or even mundane to many, hides an impressive antioxidant power. In Japan, drinking green tea is not just about having a hot beverage, but performing a health ritual. This daily practice acts directly against free radicals, which accelerate cellular aging and the loss of skin elasticity. While much of the Western population starts starts the day with sugar-laden coffee and empty calories, the Japanese cultivate a ritual that over decades protects their youth and keeps the skin firm and radiant even after 50. But it's not just the drink that makes the difference. Food as a whole reflects a lifestyle guided by prevention. Omega-3 rich fish, such as salmon and mackerel, are constant on the table, helping reduce inflammation and preserve cardiovascular health, which in turn directly impacts the youthful appearance of the skin. After all, when circulation works well and blood flows efficiently, each cell receives essential oxygen and nutrients, translating into nourished, glowing skin resistant to time. Meanwhile, many Western cultures rely on processed meats, fried foods, and excess salt, overloading the body and creating invisible micro-inflammations that accelerate the appearance of wrinkles and spots. Another powerful aspect is how the Japanese view meals. They do not overeat nor turn food into an escape for anxiety or stress, as often happens in Western daily life. The philosophy of hara hachibu, which means eat until you are 80% full, is a clear example of how balance reflects in health. This practice, which may seem simple, is a true weapon against premature aging. The body is not overloaded, digestion occurs more gently, and the skin shows clear signs of vitality. That's why, when speaking of the Japanese secret, it's not about a single miraculous habit, but a combination of conscious choices repeated daily, forming a lifestyle that keeps the appearance youthful even after 50. And we cannot forget the impact of stress, perhaps one of the greatest silent enemies of youth. The West has normalized a fast-paced life, long work hours, financial worries, and lack of quality sleep. All of this releases hormones like cortisol, which in excess cause inflammation, damage collagen production, and leave the skin tired and dull. In Japan, although intense social pressures also exist, there is a greater appreciation for pauses and contact with nature. Walking among trees, practicing gentle exercises like Tai Chi, or simply setting aside moments of silence are common practices. These moments of contemplation reduce stress and help maintain hormonal balance, reflecting in younger-looking skin and a body that resists time better. Now imagine the impact on someone's life who decides to adopt just a few of these habits. Replacing excessive coffee with green tea, including more fish and vegetables in their diet, reducing portion sizes at meals, and most importantly, creating daily pauses to breathe, reflect, and reduce stress. The result is not only aesthetic, it translates into vitality, energy, mental clarity, and even a longer life expectancy. This is the difference between aging burdened with pain, deep wrinkles, and discouragement, or reaching 50 with the face of a 25-year-old full of vitality and renewed self-esteem. Therefore, it is important for each person to reflect. How many signals has your body already given that were ignored? That frequent headache, the morning swelling, the seemingly harmless insomnia, the dry skin that doesn't improve with creams, all these are signs that current habits are not working. Meanwhile, the Japanese secret shows that it is possible to turn things around and recover lost youth. It's not too late to start, and proof lies in the stories of men and women who, by changing small choices, noticed remarkable transformations in just a few weeks. Skin gained radiance, the body began responding again, and the reflection in the mirror stopped being a painful reminder of the passage of time to become a source of pride. Among all Japanese secrets, perhaps one of the most intriguing lies in the intimate relationship they cultivate with water. While many see it merely as a basic necessity, for the Japanese, water is an element of purification, balance, and vitality. The habit of drinking warm water first thing in the morning, for example, is common in many Japanese households. This simple gesture helps cleanse the digestive system, stimulates metabolism, and promotes the elimination of toxins that would otherwise accumulate and accelerate skin aging. It is a ritual that awakens the body while simultaneously preventing invisible inflammations, directly reflecting in facial firmness and radiance. Additionally, Japanese baths, known as ofuro, carry profound symbolism. It's not just about hygiene, but about immersion in hot water that relaxes muscles, reduces stress, and improves blood circulation. The gentle heat opens pores, eliminates impurities, and allows the skin to breathe in a renewed way. Upon exiting, the body not only feels light, but the face conveys the same sensation: freshness, vitality, and youth. This type of care, rooted in centuries of tradition, shows how Japanese culture values self-care as an essential part of daily life, not as something occasional. Sleep, another silent pillar of youth, is also treated with respect. Most people in the West neglect their hours of rest, believing they can make up for it on the weekend without realizing that each poorly slept night is another brick in the construction of premature aging. The lack of deep sleep reduces collagen production, increases skin sagging, and promotes the appearance of dark circles and fine lines. In contrast, in Japan, there is a greater awareness of the importance of the biological rhythm. Many prioritize going to bed early, in quiet and organized environments, treating the body as a temple that needs to be restored every night. This appreciation for quality sleep is one of the most impactful factors in maintaining a youthful appearance after 50, as it is during rest that the skin regenerates, growth hormone is released, and cells recover their vitality. Another fundamental point lies in the use of natural and traditional cosmetics. Before the craze for expensive, industrialized products that dominate the Western beauty market, the Japanese were already using simple and powerful ingredients extracted from nature itself. A classic example is camellia oil, used for generations to moisturize the skin and hair. Rich in antioxidants, this oil protects against dryness and strengthens the skin barrier, keeping the skin soft and resilient. Another secret is the use of seaweed, known for its nourishing properties and minerals that promote cellular regeneration. When incorporated into a routine, these elements not only treat the surface of the skin, but also strengthen its deeper layers, ensuring long-lasting results. Perhaps the most impressive aspect, however, is the spiritual dimension involved in this process of self-care. In Japan, caring for the body is not separated from caring for the mind. The act of applying oil to the face, preparing tea, or sitting in silence is also a moment of inner connection. This emotional balance reflects on the skin, which responds better when stress is controlled and emotions are harmonized. The face of a person who carries serenity and inner peace naturally appears younger, more radiant, and more attractive. The Japanese secret, therefore, goes beyond external techniques. It involves a philosophy of life that integrates body, mind, and spirit into a single path. Now imagine what it would be like to apply these same rituals in a typical Western routine. Replacing the habit of waking up already rushing against the clock with a few minutes of silence and a glass of warm water. Swapping a hurried shower for a relaxing immersion, even if only once a week. Prioritizing an earlier bedtime, turning off screens, allowing the body to regenerate overnight. Introducing natural oils and antioxidant-rich foods into the daily routine. These small changes have the power to completely transform the way the body responds to time. It is not an exaggeration to say that by adopting simple practices, inspired by the Japanese, it is possible to rejuvenate not only the skin, but also the vital energy that sustains every movement and every emotion. This preventive approach is key to understanding how the Japanese manage to maintain youthful skin at 50 and beyond. They do not wait for the signs of aging to appear and then scramble for solutions. From an early age, they cultivate habits that strengthen overall health, making aging a natural process but not necessarily cruel or devastating. The difference lies precisely in not seeing self-care as an obligation, but as a daily pleasure. This mindset changes everything. Instead of feeling like they are fighting against time, a person begins to move with it, using each choice as a tool for preserving youth. And this leads us to an important reflection. How many times have you felt too tired to take care of yourself? How many nights of sleep have you lost, believing you could make up for it later? How many times have you trusted an expensive cream, hoping for a miracle that never came, while ignoring the habits that truly make a difference? The Japanese secret shows that there is no magic, but there is indeed a clear and accessible path for anyone who wishes to reach 50 with the face of a 25-year-old. What is often lacking is not knowledge, but decision. The decision to stop accepting as normal what is, in fact, quietly stealing your youth. Looking at the Japanese who reach 60, 70, and even 80 years old, still active, with healthy skin and a serene appearance, it's impossible not to wonder, how is this possible? The answer lies in a cultural concept known as ikigai, which, in simple terms, means reason for being. This philosophy shows that youth is not only in creams, diets, or exercise, but also in the purpose that drives life. A person who wakes up every day without motivation, without clarity about why they are living, ages much faster. Emotional emptiness creates physical wear, and the body responds with illness, fatigue, and premature aging. Someone who finds meaning in their routine, whether in work, family, a hobby, or a personal project, carries energy that reflects in their face and posture. In the West, youth is often associated with aesthetics, but in Japan, the secret goes beyond that. They understand that a youthful face after 50 is not sustained only by firm skin, but by eyes that shine with enthusiasm and smiles that convey peace. This emotional balance is built through social habits, respect for elders, valuing the community, and engaging in enjoyable activities. While many live trapped in mechanical, lonely routines, the Japanese find energy in strong social bonds and collective practices. That's why, in regions like Okinawa, famous for longevity, it is not uncommon to find groups of elderly people gathering daily to sing, dance, or simply converse. This sense of belonging and joy is as essential for youth as any other physical care. And this is not just philosophy or romanticizing. Science has already proven that positive emotions, life purpose, and social connections reduce the risk of heart disease, strengthen the immune system, and even increase life expectancy. More than that, they maintain the body in a state of hormonal balance that favors collagen production, delays the appearance of wrinkles, and strengthens mental health. The Japanese secret, therefore, is a combination of physical and emotional practices that together create the impressive image of someone who defies chronological age. Another cultural detail worth highlighting is discipline. In the West, self-care habits are often started with enthusiasm, but lack of consistency prevents results. The Japanese, however, cultivate discipline as a core value. If they decide to drink green tea every day, they will do it for decades. If they understand that going to bed early is important, they make it a priority, not an exception. This consistency is what truly creates long-term impact. It is not the cream applied for a week or the diet followed for a month that changes the fate of the skin and health, but the set of small choices repeated over the years. This discipline may seem difficult at first, especially in a fast-paced world full of distractions and temptations. But when one understands the value of each choice, it becomes easier to maintain consistency. And this is precisely what this video aims to make clear. It is not about adopting a perfect life, but learning from the Japanese secret that small changes, repeated with discipline, transform not only appearance, but life itself. The youth that the Japanese display after 50 is also deeply connected to how they relate to nature. Unlike much of the West, where urban life and concrete dominate daily routines, in Japan there is a tradition called Shinrin-yoku, which means forest bathing. It is a simple yet extremely powerful practice, walking amidst nature, absorbing the silence, the scent of the trees, the moisture in the air, and the energy of the natural elements. This connection with the earth, the leaves, and the sound of water running over stones is not seen as occasional leisure, but as an essential part of a balanced life. Modern research shows that regular contact with natural environments reduces cortisol levels, boosts immunity, and increases serotonin production, the hormone of well-being. The effects are immediate: less stress, more vitality, and consequently, younger and more radiant skin. In the West, most people spend hours inside closed offices, in front of screens, breathing artificial air, and believe that an annual trip to the beach or countryside is enough to compensate. But the truth is that the body pays daily for this lack of contact with nature. Skin becomes dry, eyes lose their sparkle, the mind becomes overloaded, and aging accelerates. The Japanese secret shows that no grand luxuries are needed to change this scenario. It is enough to reclaim the simplicity of contact with the natural environment by incorporating small outdoor walks, moments of silence in the nearest park, or even the habit of growing plants at home. Every gesture of approaching nature is a gift for health and youth. Another crucial point is the relationship with the sun. While many countries are obsessed with deep tans, which over the years damage the skin and increase the risk of serious diseases, in Japan there's a greater awareness of the importance of sun protection. Hats, umbrellas, and sunscreens are part of the routine, not out of vanity but out of care. This constant prevention avoids spots, deep wrinkles, and loss of elasticity, factors that mercilessly reveal age. Contrary to what many believe, protecting oneself from the sun does not mean giving up vitamin D, but finding balance by choosing the right exposure times and using proper protection. This preventive attitude is another piece of the puzzle that keeps the Japanese looking youthful even after 50. Furthermore, there is the fundamental role of fermented foods such as miso, natto, and kefir, which contribute to gut health. This is rarely discussed in relation to appearance, but the truth is that a healthy gut is one of the greatest allies of youthful skin. When the digestive system functions well, toxins are efficiently eliminated and do not need to be expelled through the skin. This reduces acne, inflammation, redness, and signs of premature aging. In the West, however, excessive consumption of industrialized, ultra-processed foods and refined sugars destroys the gut flora, creating a cycle of silent intoxication that reflects directly on the face. Once again, the Japanese secret shows that what we put inside the body is just as important as the products we apply externally. The strength of family traditions cannot be ignored either. In Japan, it is common for 3 or even 4 generations to live under the same roof, sharing meals, stories, and responsibilities. This structure strengthens emotional bonds, generates a sense of belonging, and reduces loneliness, which is one of the greatest factors in emotional and physical aging. In the West, isolation among the elderly is common, contributing to the loss of vitality. The constant presence of family, respect for elders, and the transmission of knowledge across generations create an environment where aging is not synonymous with loneliness, but with integration. This emotional dimension is reflected in appearance. Those who live surrounded by affection carry in their faces the lightness and joy that time cannot erase. Thus, it becomes clear that the Japanese secret to maintaining youthful skin at 50 is not hidden in magical formulas, but in a combination of simple habits connected to nature, nutrition, protection, social interaction, and emotional balance. Each practice alone already has an impact, but when combined, they create a lifestyle capable of delaying visible signs of aging in a way that seems almost unbelievable to an outsider. The aspect of dietary discipline also deserves deeper attention, as it reveals much about the Japanese logic of youth. While much of the world adopts temporary diets, cutting certain foods for weeks only to return to old habits, the Japanese maintain a balanced pattern throughout their lives. This consistency is more powerful than any fad diet, as it creates fertile ground for health and vitality. Eating slowly, chewing thoroughly, respecting satiety, and avoiding excess are values instilled from childhood, which explains why even in advanced age they maintain energy and healthy skin. Another curious detail is portion size. In Japan, dishes are usually smaller, not just for aesthetics, but to encourage balanced consumption. This practice reduces strain on the body, keeps body weight at healthy levels, and preserves metabolic health. In the West, by contrast, the culture of heaping plates and eating until full creates an environment of constant overload, which accelerates aging and increases the risk of chronic diseases. The consequences are clearly visible on the face: inflammation, fluid retention, deep wrinkles, and dull skin. The Japanese secret shows that moderation is not deprivation, but intelligent eating capable of preserving not only youth, but also overall health. Within this logic, frequent consumption of a variety of vegetables ensures the body receives a wide range of nutrients. Seaweed, roots, sprouts, and vegetables are part of the routine, providing minerals and vitamins that strengthen the immune system and nourish the skin. This constant supply of micronutrients creates a natural defense against oxidative damage, delaying the appearance of wrinkles and age spots. Meanwhile, the Western diet, often lacking in plant diversity, compromises health from an early age, leaving marks that accumulate over time. The difference in daily choices, observed over decades, explains why in Japan it is common to see 70-year-olds with the vitality of 50, while in other parts of the world, the signs of aging appear much earlier. Another essential element is movement. Although not everyone goes to gyms, the Japanese walk far more than the global average. Train stations, walking commutes, and the habit of performing small daily physical activities help keep the body active, muscles toned, and circulation healthy. Constant movement also affects the skin, improving oxygenation and ensuring a firmer, more youthful appearance. In the West, over-reliance on cars and sedentary routines create the perfect environment for accelerated aging. Once again, this is not about secret formulas, but lifestyle. In the realm of the mind, meditation and conscious breathing also hold a special place. Ancient techniques such as Zazen, derived from Buddhism, teach the importance of quieting the mind, reducing anxiety, and cultivating presence. These moments of introspection not only relieve emotional weight, but also have a direct effect on the body. When the mind calms, heart rate decreases, blood pressure stabilizes, and stress hormones are reduced. The result is visible on the face: more relaxed muscles, serene expression, less pronounced wrinkles. While the rush and anxiety of modern life leave marks of worry on the skin, the Japanese find in silence an inexhaustible source of youth. It is important to note that even with all these habits, the Japanese do not live in a perfect reality. They also face pressures, difficulties, and challenges, but the difference lies in how they respond to these factors. The Japanese secret is not about eliminating problems entirely, but about creating a balance that allows the body to withstand them better. This resilience is visible in aging. While many suffer from premature illnesses, the Japanese manage to prolong vitality. Self-care is not treated as a luxury, but as an integral part of life. This mindset completely changes the way a person ages. Instead of waiting for crises to seek solutions, they cultivate daily practices that prevent wear and tear. This preventive approach contrasts with the Western perspective, which often seeks help only after problems have already arisen. In terms of skin, this means that while some try to erase deep wrinkles with invasive procedures, others manage to prevent them before they even appear, simply by maintaining consistent habits. This contrast raises a provocative question. Why do we insist on believing that aging painfully and exhaustively is inevitable? Prolonged youth is not a privilege of a few, but a choice for many. The Japanese secret reveals that true transformation does not lie in waiting for miracles, but in changing the way we live now. Every choice has a direct impact, and the results show not only in the mirror, but in how we feel when we wake up each day. Reaching 50 with the face of a 25-year-old is neither fantasy nor an empty promise. It is the result of conscious choices, daily discipline, and a philosophy of life that places prevention and balance at the center of everything. The Japanese secret shows that youth and vitality are not merely a matter of aesthetics, but of physical, mental, and emotional health. A balanced diet, connection with nature, sun protection, quality sleep, mental care, and cultivating healthy relationships form a set of practices that can be applied by anyone, anywhere in the world. Now is the time to reflect. Which habits do you need to change today to reap the benefits tomorrow? Small transformations, when carried out consistently, have the power to generate enormous results. Do not wait for the signs of time to deepen before taking action. Take care of your skin, mind, and body starting now. If this content resonated with you, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In doing so, you not only transform your own life, but also help others discover that there is a path to aging with dignity, vitality, and youth. Reliable sources such as the World Health Organization, longevity studies in Okinawa, and research on antioxidants in green tea confirm that these habits are more than tradition. They are science applied to everyday life. Keep this in mind. Every decision to take care of yourself directly impacts your life, and time, which once seemed an enemy, can become an ally when you choose to live in harmony with your body and mind. A youthful face after 50 is simply the visible consequence of a lifestyle that values what truly matters.